Hello and welcome back to Broadside Gaming with me Zug, and we're taking another look at the support veteran build with a Krieg twist. So we're trying to get the Helbore Lasgun to work again, but we're trying it now with more of a support build. So we're sticking with the crack grenades and we're going straight down the middle. So we're picking up close order drills to replenish up to 33% toughness damage reduction in the more allies in coherency. Demolition team, you and your ally as incoherency have a 5% chance to replenish a grenade on elite or special kill, though we are losing charismatic because we need to dump a point somewhere, and this was it. Crack grenade, obviously, because it's amazing. Health boost. Though I would have liked the 5% range damage boost. Didn't have the points for it. Grenade tinkerer, making your crack grenades better. Covering fire, when you kill an enemy with a ranged attack, allies within 5 meters of the target replenish 15% toughness and receive a 10% to all base damage for 3 seconds. Fire team, 3% damage for you and allies in coherency. Toughness damage reduction. Demolition stockpile, replenish 1 grenade every 60 seconds to keep us in grenades basically, and also not have to fight over those grenade boxes as much because everyone wants them now. Voice of command. Duty and honour, and only in death does duty end, so we can now shout people back on their feet, just like good old Uncle Kruber taught us in Vermintide. Then +1 stamina. We actually want the stamina this time, weirdly. We come down this tree for some range damage, some more range damage. Deadshot, critical chance, and 60% sway reduction while using your ranged weapon to alternate fire, but lose 8% stamina per second and additional 4 per shot. This is quite important to the build. Toughness damage reduction, 15% weak spot damage, and critical hits with last weapons consume no ammo. We might actually take off that. This reload speed, I thought it said range damage. Oh, there we go, range damage. Put it into range damage. I'm thinking that might be slightly better. And we're coming down the middle here. So tactical awareness, combat ability cooldown reduced by 6 seconds on specialist enemy kill. This is going to be quite handy because this does increase our cooldown by 33%. Bring it down, 20% damage to Ogryns and monstrosities. Superiority complex, 10% base damage against elites. A health boost, a toughness boost. Confirmed kill, replenish 25% toughness on elite or specialist enemy kill, and a further 25% toughness over 10 seconds. Inspiring presence, toughness in coherency. We're not taking Iron Will, which is slightly annoying, and we're not taking Born Leader, as we didn't have the points for it. Competitive urge, 2.5% chance of 20% base damage, 20% melee impact, and 20% suppression for 8 seconds whenever an ally kills an enemy. Rending strikes to give ourselves a nice flat 15% rending to all weapons. And then down here for the Emperor, 20% melee damage and 20% range damage for 5 seconds upon using our skill. And I will show you what blessings we're using on the Helbore Lasgun. We are using Surgical, which is why we wanted the stamina. 10% critical chance for every 0.3 seconds while aiming, stacks 10 times, discharges all stacks upon firing. Onslaught chained charged attacks reduce the charge time by 12%, stacks 5 times. So we'll be firing faster and faster and faster, and the longer we aim, we'll be hitting harder and critting more. The perks, we do want to actually change off, range damage, Groaners, Poxwalkers for crit damage, but I didn't have the plasteel to do that. So just keep in mind that the 10% range damage to Groaners and Poxwalkers is wrong. That should be crit damage. And ranged weak spot damage at 10% is what we want on there as well. And for your melee weapon, you can pretty much choose whatever you want. I stick with the power sword just because it's very good at murdering everything, especially with Wrath and Power Cycle on it. I always have this as Carapace and Mannix, but you can switch out the Mannix for flak armor if you want to deal with Maulers and Ragers. I just prefer Mannix to get rid of mutants and things. So for the curios, I'm sticking with toughness for now. On this one, and combat ability regeneration. As you can see, toughness regeneration, speed, and combat ability regeneration, and more of the same here. At some point, if I can get this to work, I may switch all of these out to be +3 stamina. And that is because as we are aiming, we are losing all of our stamina. But we don't actually want the stamina, we just want what the stamina does, which is increase our crit. But for the moment, that requires far more testing, and I don't actually have any +3 stamina curios to test it with. But that is the general idea of the build. So we aim, charge, and fire. You are pretty much aiming for headshots for this. But as you can see, our stamina drains very quickly, which is why I want the stamina curios. But for a nice damage boost, you can use your F ability. And it works pretty well. You can actually use this build with any of the marks of Lucius Helbore lasguns. I'm using the Mark 1 just because it is quicker to charge and fire. If you want to, you can do it with a Mark 3 that does have slightly higher damage but also a reduced charge rate. But any 3 of these guns will work. The 2 is a nice in-between version, but I don't actually have a decent version of that anywhere, so I haven't... Oh, I suppose I've got that one, but I mean, that'll take a lot of work to get it up to scratch. So yeah, I'm still working on the Krieg build because it's quite amusing. It's not as fast as the Shredder auto pistol build, but it is pretty amusing and it's a nice little support build. So you're not aiming for doing the most killing, you are there to support your team, buff them, keep them on their feet, and destroy heavy targets with your crack grenades, along with your very, very accurate fire. Which even on a Mark 1 does do quite a lot of damage. This is all being tested on Damnation in the Psychonarium, so you can see what sort of damage this thing does against hard targets. As you can see, against the Crusher, it's still doing a fairly decent amount, as long as you aim for the neck plate. I also just wanted to prove that I do actually know how to use the crack grenades. I was just being very dumb in that last video. And they are hilarious. But yeah, this is the Krieg support build. I hope you guys like it. If you do, comment below. If you think you've got anything, a better way of doing it, please do let me know. I'd love to hear it and I'd love to try it out. If it's awesome, I'll showcase it on the build and obviously credit you for it. Always happy to show off people's builds. And yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. It really does help us out. And if you feel so generous, go over to the members area and sign up, become a member. It helps the channel, keeps the lights on, and it makes UG happy. So until next time, folks, take it easy, and I'll see you later.